you know, as someone who's starting and trying to commit a certain amount of time to this, like a couple hours per week, I think that there's a lot of lessons that I'm learning, and I just want to share those lessons. So if anyone else wants to get into this, or if you're like intimidated by it, you can see that there are paths that you can take to learn how to fly FPV drones, and that you don't have to be like super skilled right out the gate. But as I've just continued to try and fly for at least an hour a week, I have gotten considerably better, but still not good. So this is the next one, week 4. So if the last clip was week 2, I didn't have any like good clips from week 3. Maybe I didn't get to fly, I don't remember exactly. But this is week 4. The first time I got to fly in the backyard, I was just out there like cleaning up, and I was like, you know what, I think this is actually enough room to fly out here, so let me try it. And again, remember, this is the best clip that I had from that day, so not very impressive, but again, I was just practicing going out to a certain point in the yard, turning around, and then trying to land on this little, it's like a footstool that I'm taking off from that we just leave outside, so it's pretty grody, but that's what I was taking off from. You can see, again, I'm trying to point out like the progression and the things that I'm finding impressive going back and watching these is like my takeoff is a lot smoother and it's a lot more controlled. So the takeoff in the last clip, I like shoot like 20 feet in the air. I'm like kind of bobbling it, what I coined as like Bambi flying, when it's just like very unstable trying to find the level horizon. This one I have a lot more confidence just like popping it up 3-4 feet and then kind of getting moving forward and not you know, being super destabilized or whatever. So I pop up a couple of feet, just high enough for me to kind of clear things, and then I get out just to a random point in the yard, turn around, and then try to come back to where I was sitting, and I missed the landing. So like I said, my landing is still not very good, but just this attempt, this was just my confidence going like way up. Being able to not Bambi fly too much, be able to turn like pretty sharp and get right back to where I just was. Those are all like really good signs for me. And again, just the confidence thing. That's why I keep saying that, like, if we were to go back and set challenges for ourselves, like the first 10 challenges would just be like, get your confidence up, get to know your drone, know that if you throw it around, if it's one of these little bee brains, like you're not going to break it instantly. You can see like probably on a bigger drone, well, I don't know, that's not that high. I think I disarm at like my knee. So that's only like 1.5 feet of free falling onto grass, which is pretty soft. So I probably wouldn't break anything. But if this is a heavier, you know, a little bit more delicate drone, and I turn off, you know, if I disarm it from here and I'm not actually over what I thought I was over and I just hit the ground, there's probably a higher chance that I could break something. Let me say it like that. So this is the next clip, same week 4. So this was actually from the same day I was flying out there. And this is the first time I did a flip. So again, with the confidence building, I was like, okay, I'm able to get this thing up in the air. I'm able to hold it at a certain elevation. What can I do in this small of a space? I wasn't confident enough at this time to like practice like better turning, because that's either crashing into the house, my neighbor's yards, or some trees in the woods, which I didn't want to do any of those 3 things. So I was like, all right, let me try to keep it still in one spot and just do some type of flip. And I think if this was, like Steven's saying, a better thought out and written down, I would have been a little bit quicker to do these things and probably would have saved some battery, thus actually making more of it. But I think like even this little loop that I just did, I didn't even talk about the flip, but even the little loop that I did after I did the flip, I think like just shows how much more control I have of this thing. Like I didn't hit the trees, I didn't go over the house, which I didn't want to do because if any reason it fell, I didn't want to climb on my roof and grab it. So like just being able to keep it in this little area was good. You can see the elevations kind of all over the place. I'm doing some of that Bambi flying that I was talking about, where the horizon's just switching from left to right. But yeah, that first flip I actually did. I forget exactly where it was. I think it's here. Yeah, so that first, it's actually a roll that I did left to right. Was able to catch the horizon, as they say. So I had it cockeyed one way, and then I flipped and had it cockeyed the other way. And then I was able to level out and kind of find that horizon. All right, so just to show this second flip here, so I do some Bambi flying, I do the little turnaround that I was talking about. I hit the ground and like recover, so I learned I could just like power through if I don't get the elevation that I'm needing while I'm either like turning or doing something. Any drone footage that's out on the internet, probably besides my footage, because my footage sucks, you're going to see people who are very comfortable doing flips and rolls, and that comes with just knowing your setup. So having the same drone, having the same controller, and just knowing like if I hold forward on the right stick for a second and a half, that's a full rotation for my setup. For me, I had 0 baseline. So this first flip that I did, I actually over-rotate by almost 180 degrees exactly and just throw this thing into the ground. That's probably the most violent crash that I had to this point. So it was an attempt. It didn't go well. I wasn't able to like regain where horizon was. In my head, I actually like panicked. I was like, oh shoot, like to do the flip, I throttled up, so I'm going fast. I kill the throttle to do the flip, and then without thinking, when I was just done rotating, I throttled back up. So when I'm upside down here, I didn't realize like, oh shoot, you're upside down, you should probably rotate some more. I just straight threw the throttle forward and just threw myself into the ground. So again, learning points, but that was...
But nothing broke?
Nothing broke.
Flight?
And that's why I think that's what I was saying. Some of my confidence came from I can really kind of throw this thing around and it's going to be able to handle itself, which that's what it's created for. It's called a Newbeedrone, the Acrobee. But yeah, nothing broke and lessons were learned. But this whole flight that I had here was whatever. I started at 158 and it ends at like 230. So about 30 seconds of flight time. Like that's something that at this point I was feeling very confident about. It wasn't like I was just kind of like baby stepping around. Like this is actually me trying new things, bouncing off the ground, doing all of that in 30 seconds of being up in the air. So I felt good about it.